Welcome everybody to Holistic Northwest Living. I'm your co-host, Chris Angell, and I'm here with your host, Amber McKenzie. Amber, welcome to the inaugural episode of our show.
I'm so excited. I'm happy to be here.
It's so, it's your show. You should be happy to be at your own show.
I'm the reason, it's here.
Exactly. I want to spend some time in this episode, sort of like an origin story, if you will. Like, why are we doing this? The world has over 700,000 podcasts. Why would we do one more?
Right.
Right.
I hear you.
And what's the conversation about? What's the format going to be moving forward? Like, let's just see where we go.
Okay. I love it. Let's do it.
I know, a little background on you. So you have a holistic magazine in the Inland Northwest called Natural Awakenings, yes?
That is correct. It's been going since September 2017.
Oh,
so, nice. It's coming up in our third year. So it's been really great.
What, tell me more about it. Like, what is in it? Who reads it? Like all that.
I just happen to have a copy right
here. Oh,
here.
you just happen to have
it. I know.
I like it.
How convenient.
Yes.
So Natural Awakenings, it's actually a national magazine. So it's in over 70 markets in the United States. And about 3 years ago, I lost my mom, which was a very difficult situation. She died from heart disease. And so after her death, I realized it was like the prime opportunity to assess my own life and what I was doing. Yeah. And I realized that while I was living a pretty good life, it didn't have much meaning or purpose when I really investigated. And so I decided to go inward and really consider what my life's work was and what I was doing here on this planet. And so one of the things that came up was this magazine, which my sister, Shannon McKenzie, she publishes the magazine in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina. And so I learned about it from her. I got myself a copy from my mom, actually. And my first time going through it, I was like, oh my gosh, I love this magazine. I love the content. I love the positive.
What did you love about it? What was in it that made you go, oh, this is awesome?
I mean, it talked about holistic health and wellness and naturopathy and homeopathics and acupuncture and chiropractic and all the things that I myself was embarking on that holistic journey as far as I knew that my body could do a lot of healing on its own if I allowed it. Yeah. And so just having a resource to learn more about that and to have it be local. Because obviously what I was reading was from North Carolina. I was like, oh my gosh, this is, I wish I could visit these practitioners or learn more from them. And so I said to myself, when I was reading my sister's magazine, oh my gosh, Spokane and Coeur d'Alene needs a magazine like this. And then on the very next page, it said, do you want this magazine in your territory? And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I do. So it was kind of the start of, that was like a little igniting of the journey, to get it actually going in the Spokane Coeur d'Alene community. Right, so that took about 9 months.
Nice. Beyond the magazine itself, like, were you finding that you had turned, as you thought about your life's purpose, you were pressing into more of the holistic conversation, or was that already a part of your life before your mom passed away?
Yeah. that was already a huge part of my life. I started going to a nature path, 15, 16 years ago. Yeah. And that was kind of the first time I thought, oh, wow, there's a lot of different ways that I could care for myself. And then that turned into, that's just my body, like by the symptom, I was like, oh, maybe I can take something more natural to help that, heal that. And then it turned to more, other types of things like mental self-care and spiritual self-care and, all the different things that kind of are connected. I started getting into that. And so this was almost the perfect culmination of all of that.
Totally. Yeah. There's something about the word holistic is such a great, not unifier, but like a container for this tribe, our tribe of people who think this way about life, health, spirituality, things like that. Like, holistic is such a great way for us to find each other.
Exactly.
It's I kind of know what you mean. Like, even though I don't know what your definition is, I'm like, if you like holistic stuff, I think we might get along.
Exactly. No, you get it. You kind of go, oh yeah, holistic. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. And what I like about even that term is just like, it's the wholeness of who and what we are. Yeah. And that encompasses a lot, But when you look at, the whole person, there's so much that goes into it.
Totally. Yeah. I actually love, this, I mean, we can get deep right away, but I feel, in episode 1 here, but I feel like there's those of us who've gravitated towards holistic things and all the different things. I think when we were younger, we're outcasts because it's not a common conversation in Western civilization to do holistic things. And so what we do is we float below the radar for a lot of things. And I love that there's a resource, not only just a resource, but in the magazine, but also a resource in, there's a holistic chamber of commerce now in Spokane. There's a community that is rising.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree. Yeah. It's emerging, and it's
emerging. There you go.
It doesn't need, and what's interesting is this magazine was developed or started over 25 years ago. Wow. When really this stuff was super kind of cuckoo.
Yeah, right.
Now, a lot of this is a little bit more accepted and a little bit more mainstream. And if nothing else, people are waking up to the fact that there's a lot that we're told that isn't true. And so it's cool when we can have our own like thoughts and feelings and, connections.
Right.
Yeah. And that's kind of what the magazine does. And that's what I love about it. Yeah.
It's such a great tactile representation or resource for this bigger conversation that we live in called holistic living, et cetera. So
exactly.
Which is a great segue into like this show. Like here's a show called Holistic Northwest Living. And I'm, curious what you're excited about when you think about the show, what it does in the community, who it's for, et cetera. Give me a little, taste of your vision for that.
Yeah. So, okay. The magazine, right? Yep. I've been doing it for 2.5 years, almost 3 years. And I have learned so much about what's going on in our holistic community. I feel like there's a lot that people don't know. Mm-hmm. And unless you read the magazine, because I have a lot of readers that say, oh my gosh, I love your magazine because I get to learn about everything that's going on in our community. But, for those who don't read it, I mean, I guess there's a few out there. I wanted a way to share some of the amazing work that's going on here. So with holistic practitioners, services, products, stores, I mean, really amazing things are happening. And a lot of practitioners aren't great at shouting it from the rooftops and getting people to know about it. And so this is one way to do that. I mean, the magazine's one way, but obviously videos or podcasts and videos are another way to do it. And so I think people will be really excited by what's going on in the Inland Northwest holistically.
This is one of the things I've been doing podcasts for 6-7 years now. I mean, it was, and it's as a medium, it's really become popular because it's so easy to consume. I love that you can listen to it while you drive, while you work out, while you cook, whatever. I also like that, especially in this format of a podcast where we're having conversation, it's so much easier to listen to dialogue for me to sit down and read. I love to read, right? But I have to get into I'm a shiny object guy, so I have to calm down
Me too.
in order to read. So this is another way. I think it's a complementary way.
Yep.
To create more content for a holistic community here in the Inland Northwest. So I love that.
Exactly. That's exactly the goal and the purpose. And, a lot of my readers I think a lot of readers would be interested in the podcast as well, because reading something, it's one dimensional, but getting maybe one of my really great holistic practitioners to come on the show and just talk about what they do. Yeah. How cool is that? Yeah.
Right. For real.
And also Holistic Chamber of Commerce members. We want them on here as well. So just amazing, amazing people and amazing holistic things going on.
I love that we get to interview members of the Holistic Chamber of Commerce. I think it's really cool. Like, there's a vetting process for Holistic Chamber members. Like, you can't just say I'm a holistic business and then become a member. There's actually a referencing that happens, background check reference, or not background check, but like checking references.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's a lot of stuff that's very fringy in the holistic space. And, I love that the Holistic Chamber actually has a vetting process to make sure that, the weird, sketchy, fringy stuff doesn't get in.
Exactly.
So I love that. So we get to interview those people. So you listening to this as someone in the holistic community in the Inland Northwest, like, when we're interviewing Holistic Chamber of Commerce members here, that you're listening to somebody who's been vetted through reference checks, et cetera, which is, I think that's really important.
I think so too. And it just legitimizes them that much more because, again, like you said,
Yeah.
there are practitioners out there that are kind of sketchy. So you just have to be careful. And we want, on the show, we only want the, highest caliber of holistic practitioners to come on and share their work and what they're doing. Yeah.
I love that. I love it. So I'm really looking forward to the interviews that we get to do. I hope from time to time, you and I just get to jam, because I love our conversations, and, we can get pretty deep about stuff. If you're listening to this and you're afraid to go deep on things, which is not really the holistic community. I think the holistic community are deep people. So I love that we can actually have some deep conversations around things that really matter. And I think that encourages the conversation in our community, if you will, to keep having those. I feel like in a busy day and age, it's easy to have surfacey conversations. And I feel like what really fills my soul is when we can get deep about stuff. So
I agree.
I also look forward to that.
Me too. I completely agree. I'm having a harder time now having kind of surface conversations. It's like, I really have to just go deep immediately, or else I'm out.
Right. Well, I mean, there you go. That's our tribe. So I love it.
Love it.
Well, this is going to be fun, Amber. I love it. If people want to learn more about the magazine or about the podcast or about the holistic community that's developing, I mean, is there a one-stop shop where people can go to just to kind of learn more?
Yes, there is actually. So we have a website. It's the address is holisticnorthwestliving.com, and Northwest is all spelled out. holisticnorthwestliving.com. You can go there and you'll be directed to where you want to go, whether it's Natural Awakenings or the Holistic Chamber of Commerce. That's the best place to go. And I'll also have my email and my phone number up there as well.
Yeah, perfect. So if you guys want to learn more about this holistic conversation in general and the different things that we've talked about in this episode, go to holisticnorthwestliving.com. Amber, until next time, this was a great first episode. I can't wait to see where we go from here.
Me too. Thank you, Chris.
See ya.
Okay, see ya.